Arne, just wanted to ask about Dominik after his free kick the other night as well. He's had the odd up and down as well. Obviously, the penalty missed against Burnley, and he was criticised a little bit against Barnsley for a lack of disrespect. But at the same time, he seems to be someone who takes responsibility in big moments, as he did again the other night against Marseille. So how do you assess how he's becoming a leader within your group?
You surprised me a little bit because I was completely prepared for a Mo Salah question because for 1.5 years, for 1.5 years you always start with Mo Salah. But no, Dom is having a very good season. But indeed, he's been part of 2 moments in our recent games which was not of his standard. Missing a penalty is not common for him. But it happens in football, as we see so many times. And his mistake against Barnsley was someone you don't see often, and he acknowledged that. And apart from the great goal he scored, smart goal with a little bit of help of one of my coaching staff members, I think we also showed again how important he is when we don't have the ball. And also when we have the ball, because he gave a great assist to Hugo Ekitike as well, who unfortunately hit the woodwork.
In terms of the qualities that he's shown as a leader, what are you seeing from him?
I think it always starts, if you want to be a leader, by leading by example, and that's what he's done since the 1.5 year I'm here. He's always the one that without the ball he's incredible. The way he can press, the intensity. He keeps running backwards, forwards. And I think he improved this season on the ball compared to last season, where last season I already liked him. But this season he plays with even more confidence and he's more often involved in chances and goals. So he's having a good season, as some other individuals have as well.
How different are Liverpool now and how different are Bournemouth to the 2 sides that played out that 4-2 at Anfield earlier this season? Well, first game of the season.
Yeah. In terms of playing style, not too different, I think. From what I remember, the players they played, they might miss a few now because of injuries. And of course, Semenyo went to City. If I remember my lineup, we missed Ryan Gravenberg, if I'm correct, because the first game of the season because of suspension. Also not too different in terms of how we will line up tomorrow and the way we both want to play. I think Bournemouth is one of the most intense teams in the league. They're in every running stat. They're either on top or in the top 2, top 3, top 4. So if you go there, you have to be intense yourself, and that is a lot to ask from the players, because I think we're the only team that plays in Europe. There's only 2 days rest, except for the ones that play on Thursday. And that's not for the first time this season, but also not for the first time this season. We've shown that we're able to do so. So looking forward to go there. Because we have a good memory of last season. Very difficult game, but a very important one to win for us to win the league. But from last season and from this season, that it's a difficult team to face.
My thoughts are obviously with Ibu and his family at the moment. Have you had the opportunity to speak to him? And it almost seems silly to ask how he is, but hopefully you get the sentiment behind that.
Yeah, I spoke to him a few times, and I think these are private matters and they should stay between us. But it's very obvious that if something like that happens, then a player needs time to be there for his family and also time for himself.
I'll just take you back to the start of the season then, that Bournemouth game. Jed Ray, who sends out stats, was saying I think you were the first defending champions to ever play 4 debutants in a Premier League game to start.
Next season.
Was one of them, of course. So with him in mind, I think, with him coming from Bournemouth as well, how would you sum up the first half of the season for him? He's played a lot of games. You've got a lot of games in January. So fitness-wise, is he still up there? And I suppose, what does all that mean for Robertson as well?
I think we just spoke about Dominik, and And if you talk about Milos and a lot of signings we've made, you can see the progression they are making in terms of adjustment to the team, but definitely also in power and being able. For Milos, it doesn't happen many times that he was playing in the weekend and also during the week. I think a few times I've played Robbo during the week, but Milos is getting stronger and stronger and stronger, in my opinion. He plays better and better and better. So it was a moment to give him that game during the week as well, and he did really well, in my opinion, in Marseille. And he's improving, which is normal. I just got the question, was it Sky? What? Yeah, Sky Sports. Again, Sky Sports. About the signings, and I told them, if you look at the age of our signings, they will not only be better the second half of the season, they will be better next season, and they will be better that season afterwards, and that season afterwards. That is also the way this club is run. We sign young players where we think there is a lot of room for development, although they are already really good. So yeah, he's improving, but not only him. All young players do. And we have to make sure that the players that are a bit of older level stay at their elite level.
And it sounds like you were preparing yourself for a Mo Salah question, so
Why do you look at him then?
Because I think there's only one team in his history here at Liverpool that he scored more goals against than he has against Bournemouth.
Which team is that? Oh, Manchester. Okay, I didn't know that.
But he does do well against Bournemouth. And he's not played in the Premier League since December the 13th. So I suppose how he's doing, whether this is the one for him to come back for a Premier League start for him, and what maybe changes for players maybe against certain teams.
4 players against certain teams? What maybe changes?
In terms of he's not started in the Premier League since then, and in terms of maybe when you score so many goals against a certain team, whether it
No, that doesn't change, because Mo scored against any team in the Premier League a lot of goals. So probably one of the most was Bournemouth, but I think against any team he scored a lot. So Mo played 90 minutes, as many others did. And yesterday we had a recovery session because we couldn't go back home after the game because we had a late kickoff, as we had so many times in Europe. Not once, we had an early kickoff. So yeah, we had recovery yesterday. We trained today, and knowing Mo, he's ready to play tomorrow, but because he's shown that so many times in his career. But he, like all the others, have a training session to go, and then I will decide on the lineup for tomorrow.
Jeremie Frimpong has started the last 4 for you. That's his longest run in the team for you so far since signing. I just wondering what you thought about his development so far, his recent performances, and what an informed Jeremie Frimpong might do for bringing the best out of Mo Salah again.
Now, one of the reasons why Jeremie played as well so many games is that he was, I think, before Mo came back, the only player I had for the right side. So that increases the chance for a player to play. But it's also immediately a risk, because he's been out quite long this season, and now he has to play almost every game. And he's, as you can see, quite an intense player. And what I mean with intense, if he runs, it's already sprinting, because he's so fast. So we have to take good care of him. But he's had a big impact in the games he's played since he's back from injury. That's why we were also disappointed not to have him available for such a long time, because we all know he could do this. Spoken a lot about taking 1v1s on and making the difference. Now, I think in the last 3 or 4 games he's shown that, even in the last game, taking a 1v1 on, that led to a goal. How important that is in modern football. So to have him available is really nice and really important for us. And it not only impacts Mo Salah, it impacts the whole team if you have a good player available. And Jeremie is a very good player. So, but we also have to take good care of him to keep him available for us. And that is always a thin line and difficult margins if there's not a lot to choose from. On his position, I mean then. But he's done really well in the last 4 to 5 games.
And it's 3 clean sheets in your last 6 games, and you've spoken a bit in your post-match interviews about conceding chances and not conceding too many. Do you feel like you're improving defensively recently? Do you feel like you're seeing some development there as the season goes on?
Yeah. That's clear for everyone to see, I think. I think in all the 13 games we are unbeaten. I don't think there were many games, maybe only the Brighton game, where we conceded more than 1 XG. So that tells you that we hardly conceded a chance in any game we've played. To be honest, I think we've conceded more against Marseille, 2 or 3 good chances for them than we've conceded in other games. But the good thing was that, and that's how it works in football, it doesn't continue for a whole season, that every time the other team has 1 chance, it's immediately a goal. And Ali had a great save, 2 in the first half and another one in the second half. And after Hugo hit the bar, we were lucky that in a counter-attack, they missed a chance, they hit it over the woodwork, and in the last minute Ali again made a great save. So we know we have the best goalkeeper, one of the best goalkeepers in the world. So knowing that, then you know that we cannot go on with hardly conceding a chance and conceding goals.
Carl?
The last 2 games have probably been the best 2 performances, if it's unbeaten them, if not, among the ones in the season. I'm just wondering, is this the sort of Liverpool style you envisaged maybe at the start of the season when you made all the new signings and you talked about the development they've had in the second half of the season?
Are you telling me now that Burnley was, in your opinion, one of our better games, one of our best games? Sorry? Yeah, for me as well, but I thought it was the only one, but now we're on 2. So, so that's positive. At least I'm not the only one then. No, I think you can include the Arsenal game to it as well. It was also a good game of ours. And we've played, in my opinion, many good games this season, which doesn't always come to the light. Is that the way to say it? If you've lost too many games during a season as well, because people are mainly looking at the league table, and then not a lot that we do is positive. But we've played quite a lot of good games. We have had quite a lot of good individual performances. We've spoken about Florin. Everybody spoke a lot about him, that he lacked goals and assists in the beginning of the season, but he was so close to it every single time. And even now, when he's scoring and having assists, he could almost double it with the chances he's having or the chances he gives to his teammates. So I can only see so many positives from this team in terms of the progress we made. But we had to adapt so many times throughout the season. It's hardly any time we could play the same again every time. And I said this before the game against Marseille as well. When Hugo scored his first goal against Tottenham, he was injured. When Connor played a good game against Arsenal and Jeremie played good off the right side, Connor got a big injury. That has happened a lot of times at Frankfurt when Hugo and Alex played together. Alex picked up an injury. So every time we have to adapt again, and every time we try to find a new way of getting the best out of this team. And sometimes that works better than other times. But I can assure you that we're already in a good place, but this team, this club, will be in a better place the day after tomorrow. Tomorrow and the day after and the day after and the day after. I don't mean that we're not in a good place on Saturday.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I know you said a number of times you're really happy with your squads. Obviously, there's a week to go until the end of the transfer window. Do you anticipate there being any movement, or do you think it's more likely that you'll stick with the squad that you've got for the rest of the season?
Yeah, that's what I expect, yeah. But as I always say then, if there's an opportunity in the market or we think we can strengthen the squad, then this club will always try to do so. But at this moment of time, I expect it to stay mainly the same.
Hi, Arne. I wanted to ask you a word about Joe Gomez. It was another opportunity for him to come into the first team and show the elite level without having necessarily a whole lot of football. And his main battle this season has really been fitness. Yeah. I know you've used him a lot at full-back in comparison to a centre-back. And there's almost a little bit different physical demands on full-back in terms of getting up and down and contributing to attack and defence. So in terms of trying to keep Joe fit, has there been any conversations around maybe keeping him at centre-back now that obviously you've got Calvin Ramsey and Szoboszlai you can play as a full-back?
No, I think what we always try to do is prepare players for the demands of the game. So if we think we need him as a fullback, we prepare him for the demands of what it takes to play as a fullback. But he played a very, very good game as a centre-back, but I also liked him a lot when he played as a fullback against Inter Milan. So I think he's one of the few players maybe that doesn't have to play a lot of games and still play at a very high level. So that is very positive. And like you said, he's not been available always, but this season much more than last season. And it's good to have him because he played a good game off the ball. But I also remember a few balls through the lines that were really effective as the lead up for the 3-0 he was part of. So 2 days turnaround. Hasn't played many games. So let's see how he feels today and if he's able to start Saturday.
You spoke about practicing better and better. You're obviously involved in the top 4 race or top 5, depending on how many Champions League spots there are. It's very tight, those teams beneath you. Well, how do you view that race and how confident are you that in the coming months your side will be able to push clear of that chasing pack just beneath you?
I'm very confident because I work with these players every single day and I see the qualities they are having. But it's always hard to predict the future because if these players all stay available, I think we're in a very good place. But sometimes in football you can pick up injuries from nowhere. I didn't expect to don't have Giovanni Leone, Alexander Rees and Conor Bradley available for such a long time. So, but I think this team have shown many times, if they are available, if we are fit, that we are a very, 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 very competitive team against any team in the world. And so there's a lot of confidence from me looking forward to looking to the future. But yeah, fitness is of course something that's difficult to predict. But even if we pick up some injuries, we will still be able to compete. I can assure you that.
We should just check on the team news as well, please. Is Federico back for this one? Any of the knock-stop problems?
As I said, Federico wasn't able to be on the bench Wednesday. So yeah, then there was a recovery session yesterday. So we have to wait and see today. It's difficult for me to say if he's available for Bournemouth. We don't expect him to be out for long, so it would be 50-50 maybe if he's available for tomorrow. And for the rest, at this moment of time, no one picked up and up, no one had a problem after the game. But yeah, sometimes when you start training again, you can feel something. But I expect everyone, all the same players, to be available for tomorrow. And Kelvin Ramsey is, of course, a player who is not available for the Champions League, and they will be available for the Premier League. So that's another player to add.
Thanks, Arne.